So this is Travis Turner, and this story centers around him. He's a respected high school football coach in rural Virginia whose sudden disappearance amid a, um, a child investigation, a child media investigation, has gripped the small community of Appalachia and beyond. This narrative, this story kind of blends elements of local heroism because he led an undefeated team and this personal tragedy of him disappearing into the woods and some dark allegations. As of today, he remains missing, right? And so essentially what happened was, he was a high school head football coach and the PE teacher in the Union High School in Appalachia, Virginia. This is a population of like 1,500 people. It's a small football obsessed town near the Kentucky border. And under his leadership, the Bears went 13-0 this season, advancing to the Class 2 state semifinals on December 6, 2025. And the ironic twist, they won without him, led by interim coach Jay Edwards during turning the game in kind of like a bittersweet tribute. Turner was a former quarterback. He played at University of Virginia after high school. Followed in his Hall of Fame father Tom Turner's footsteps. So this is a football family, seen as a pillar of the community. Married 25 years and he's got 3 kids, including a son Bailey, who is 23 years old, and he is a former Bears quarterback. There's this really good. It was just a triumphant season. He led him to this success. But on November 20th, 25, Virginia State Police headed to Turner's home to question him in an undisclosed investigation that was later revealed to be what I'm calling a child media exploitation probe. He was tipped off. Someone tipped him off because his standing in the community. He grabs a gun and he walks into the nearby heavily wooded mountainous terrain, leaving behind his car, his keys, his wallet, his glasses, his meds, his contacts. I don't know if he had his phone with him or not, but I don't even think he had that. His wife reported him missing that evening. I think it was about 24 hours, just less than 24 hours later. Maybe she kept thinking he'd come back, right? So November 21st, an official missing persons report is filed, and this is his wife. This is their wedding picture. Beautiful lady. So the next day, official missing persons report filed. Initial searches, they use drones, canine dogs, helicopters. They focus on trails, footprints, broken twigs. No warrants yet, so he's not a fugitive. November 24th, the Virginia State Police announces 10 felony warrants and 5 counts of possession of child exploitation media. 5 counts using a computer to solicit a minor. Additional charges pending. Turner is now declared a fugitive, and he's described as 6'0", 200 pounds, last seen in a gray sweatshirt, sweatpants, glasses, possibly armed. So by November 29th, the family attorney Adrian Collins defends Turner publicly. Right, this guy is a pillar of the community, and said that it's not typical for him to vanish. Leslie wasn't aiding in the escape. She's just worried. She's urging him to come home, face this in the court. She says, "We love you. We support you." U.S. Marshals join with a $5,000 reward. Critics say that's too low to sway these locals that are going to be loyal to him. The FBI gets involved. The searches intensified, but it yielded nothing. December 5th, his son Bailey shared an emotional post-game message after the regional win. He said, "Dad's team is fighting for him. Please come back." And Leslie pleads, "None of it's true. He's a good dad, a good husband." And, they had no updates. He's gone without a trace, right? And so here's another shot of him as the football coach and Leslie. So the Virginia State Police Bureau of Criminal Investigation confirmed that the victim links to Union High. There's 600 students there. The school placed Turner on administrative leave immediately, even though he's missing. He's banned from the campus. He's banned from contact with kids. And his colleague, Timothy Lee Metter, at the same school, pleaded guilty to indecent liberties with a minor represented by the same lawyer. I don't know if there's a connection there, but it's kind of like, wow. I hope it's not a birds of a feather kind of thing flocking together. His family insists innocence, and the accusation saying that the accusations are untrue. He wasn't fleeing the warrants. The community's in shock. Turner coached, a lot of these parents' sons on this football team, and he's seen as a good man. We want focus on the facts here. He's not convicted of any of this. This could be accusations that simply aren't true. The terrain up there is tough. It's dense woods, steep mountains, cold weather. They're trying to use what they call the FLIR, right? So that's the infrared infrared camera to look at the woods. But the problem is, if there's a body out there, let's say it's a living body, there's deer that bed down. There's it'd be hard to see him, and if something's happened and he's deceased, it's not going to show up on the infrared camera at all. Cadaver dogs even struggle with decay sense in those rugged terrains, because there's a lot of animals that die naturally out there, right? So fallen leaves at this time of the year don't make it easy either for aerial views. And you got to realize it's a wet ground. Things erode, like you're not going to be able to follow footprints. You can't track sign, all that stuff. So this guy, Ken Lang, let's see, yeah, right here. He's a retired law enforcement veteran with 25 years of service, including 15 years investigating violent crimes. And he says if it's a suicide, the body may never be found because of the remote area, and the whole thing about, like we're just not going to be able to see it on infrared, and there's animals out there. So if he's deceased, they very well may never even recover a body. That's a very, what's the word? It's a remote area, and there's not a lot of infrastructure, and there's all sorts of animals up there. They've got boots on the ground teams right now. They've got bloodhounds that are getting scents from clothes. There's air support, but there's been no major leads. So the family has plead to him, hey, if he's alive, to come home, plead your case in court. Her plea is, you're making me fight this by myself, right? I need you here to help fight for your reputation. And it's just a really poignant story because his football team, 13-0 for the season and won the championship there. It's grief and glory all together. And the school is mourning quietly. The superintendent is aware of the situation, and they're just having to handle it per policy because, again, it's just accusations, but there's administrative steps that school has to take to protect the kids in case accusations end up being true. There's a lot of open ends in this story that we don't know. We don't know the victims' identities, of course. We don't know how the probe started. We don't know if the reward is appropriate. Is it going to cause anybody to talk? Does anybody actually know anything? Is someone helping him, or has he ended his life and we're never going to find him? All these things we don't know, and a rural search really limits how it just kind of tests this case. It tests the agencies, and there may not be much of a resolution from this. We may never find him again. Here's his home. You can see the backdrop of the mountains and the woods. It just gets very, very dense. Like I said, there's a lot of animals out there. It's a very sad story. I'm following it. It'd be interesting if anything turns up. It'd be interesting if anybody knows anything. And like I want to be careful. I'm just a commentator. I'm just giving my analysis, and he's just accused. He's not convicted. But it's kind of interesting that the other guy was caught up in a similar scandal, because this parallels other coach scandals, right? But the fact that this guy's missing makes it a little bit more of a mystery right now, because we don't know, is someone helping him, or did he come to an untimely end, or is he just on the run? That his wife is hoping he's on the run. That's why she's saying, "Look, come home, we'll fight this." And it's certainly just accusations and not convictions. But wow, what a shock to this community. A pillar of the community, long-standing family in the community, high school football coach, and this ends in apparent tragedy.